Okay, thank you for joining me today. It was great to get a short introduction, and I really look forward to having this interview with you and learning more about your mission and then a little bit about your personal story. So maybe could you just start us off with a little bit of a story behind yourself and your mission with VALE Designs?
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Of course, I would like to tell about VALE Designs. In 2016, I was gifted by a grandson called Walter. He was born with Mabry syndrome, meaning his body cannot absorb phosphate. So he has seizures from epilepsy in a very aggressive way, and it's not treatable. So he is for life. He will not be very well. He will be not able to do very much. But we decided while he's here, we wanna wrap him in all the good things we could find for him.
Thank you for sharing that. And I think you kind of answered this question a little bit, but maybe a little bit, what made you kind of focus on adaptive clothing?
Mm-hmm. Well, as I said, we want to spoil my grandson as much as we spoil healthy grandchildren. And it's very difficult to find stylish, trendy clothes in a good quality. Of course, with features that makes it easier to be a care person. So that was the reason why it was lacking in the market, in our opinion.
I can definitely relate to that as as a parent myself. And so you have this great idea, and how do you overcome all the challenges to bringing this to market?
Well, it was a totally new area for me because I never been into textile business before. So there was quite a lot to learn. I think the best or the way I did it was just to listen to experts within this field because that was the only way for me to do it.
And so you've listened to the experts, but I imagine there's a little bit of research that goes on behind the scenes by making sure that, you meet the requirements of children that have
Yeah.
unique needs and can't care for themselves. How do you do that
Yeah.
research?
We had the most perfect model in our own family. He was the one inspiring us what was actually lacking. And then we were able to test some of the textiles on him. And we knew exactly what we were looking for. So it was from our minds explaining to the designers in details what we actually wanted and then tested and before production.
Well, good on the designers then. I know that it was probably uh, unique to find someone that had that, ingenuity plus the ambition to kind of go after it because we're not a large market. But I was looking at your website and I saw on there it said Scandinavian designs. Can you kind of give us a little bit about that? Because it did jump out to me and your clothing does look very unique in the way it's designed as well.
Yeah. Scandinavian are very, very great in designing and cooking, by the way. We have very high standards and focus on sustainability, but the designing is unique. We have, and the high standards must be the best, top quality. So that's the same for our brand. We wanted to have something very special, soft, and certified. So we were sure that the children would not have any problems from our clothes. So yeah, I think we are open-minded in Scandinavia. um, also self-confident and inclusive in our mindset.
I like the idea about sustainability. I know that's a very popular topic, and just because
Yeah.
we're rare disease parents doesn't mean we don't care about the environment. And the unique
Mhm.
designs do jump out to me. But what are maybe some other key features about your designs that make it ideal for maybe a child with rare disease or with special needs?
Mhm. I don't know if I can show you. For instance, I have a body stocking. Do you see it? Mhm. And in the stomach, you have the possibility to open if you have a tube for feeding or for medical reasons. So be full dressed if you are out on social events, and then very discreet, you could have your food through that hole without you have to undress. That's one of the features.
I love it. And my daughter has AADC deficiency, so one of the most common things we see is a feeding tube or a port. And so that's the first time I've ever seen something like that. So that's thank you for sharing that. Um,
Okay, you're
and
welcome.
so what do you think is you know, the hardest aspect when you're thinking of these great designs, these Scandinavian designs, but then also making sure that it's functional and adaptive? Usually when like designers are looking at things, they'll say function over design or something along that. So you have this idea of
The
making it
balance
functional.
between being
Right,
stylish and yeah.
exactly that.
I would like to show you one thing more. I have a pair of trousers and they just seem quite normal, like everyone else is wearing. But then there's a zipper. So you can open the trousers in the front.
I love
Uh,
it.
Meaning if the girl is sitting down in a wheelchair, you can easily have access to her legs or to her diaper without having to undress her in total.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I have a girl and when we're out and things like that, oh, it would just be a time saver. And
It
it didn't
would.
even occur to me to even have that. So are you getting feedback from parents or is this just from your own personal journey?
No, no, no. We have feedback from parents. Um, there was a lady writing from Germany that when she got our shipping box and she unwrapped it, she fell immediately in love. That was very nice to know. And we have a family writing to us that now their son is not afraid of going to the doctors anymore because he don't need to get undressed all the time. They can have easy access. He has CP, so they have easy access to his legs without undressing him. So it's, yeah, it's like all other children. They don't like to be undressed and checked all the time. So the less we can uh, disturb them and undress them, the better. It's um it's difficult between love and care and respect that they are also human being, not want to be examined all the time. So the less we can move them around and just be very discreet, I think that is very respectful.
Yeah, I think that's the key word there is respect. And I think even just having designs, something that doesn't look medical or just put together because out of convenience,
Exactly.
that they come out stylish. I think it's very
Yeah,
respectful of them because they
yeah.
are, you know,
They will always stick out in social events.
very
So
true.
we don't want them to stick out also dress wise. We
No,
want them to be nice. Yeah, looking
and
nice.
so I look at your clothing, and one thing as a parent, I go shopping all the time, and when I do find something that's very specific for my child, the price tends to go up because we just you can't print in bulk. We're not wholesaling products to rare disease people because of the numbers. So how do you balance making sure that the product is accessible to parents?
I think we have we want the children, we want the parents to have the clothes. So the profits is not the only thing running our business. So in this area, at least in Denmark, all stuff for disabled people are very expensive. But we are trying to develop stuff which is higher quality, but for the same money, because we want the users and their families to have this high quality option.
And I think that's the point there is I don't and you talk to any rare disease parent, they don't mind spending the money. We spend money left and right, especially when it's something very unique
Mhm.
and designed for their child. It's like it's a no-brainer because we spend stupid money on stupid things all the time and you know, it's just the nature of
Agreed.
our
And you
community.
would never consider to spend money if it was on a healthy child.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
why shouldn't we uh, on our child with a disability?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, and so you kind of talked about Denmark, and it seems um, that you know where you're at probably has some social services for your child. But are there any other partnerships or organizations that you've been able to work with that help with launching your product or getting you exposure or creating?
Not really. In Denmark, we have a special system, so you can apply the public the municip I don't remember the word of the city hall.
Municipality, yeah, yeah, the city.
Yeah, yeah. You can apply for buying stuff and get some help financially if your child has special needs. So
Yeah,
this is
and
how we do it.
yeah, and what jumped out to me is that we're doing events as Teachware, and I could just see this being something that we offer at our events. And I hope that other partners and organizations that are watching this are thinking about that as well, because there's there's things that when we do an event, we call it like a swag bag, and in there we put pencils and just
Mhm.
regular thing. And this would just blow any parent away as if you had like a gift card or a
Yeah.
catalog in there, because this is exactly what parents need. Are you able to engage with the rare disease community or special needs community from where you're at?
Yes, we can do that. And we are, if a rare disease organization is having a small exhibition or something, we gladly participate to show our products and spread the word, of course. So yeah, we are trying the best we can
Good, and I hope
to.
that we can help you and we're at the next event with you because we've been in Europe quite a few times and they have these
Oh,
big expos there and I really love going to Europe, not just for the beauty of it, but also when they do these events, it just brings together people like yourself that are innovating the community. And so I hope to see you at the
yeah.
next event.
Oh, that would be great. And then, of course, we are using social media a lot.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and just the very nature of rare diseases that we're scattered around the world and you know finding another parent for us, you know,
Hmm.
it's traveling to another country, so it's the
Hmm.
social media and the internet has been a blessing. Do you
Yeah.
have any future plans for where you want to go or what you want to do?
Yeah, we have quite a lot of future plans. We are developing adult clothes. We and additional products to what we have today. And then, of course, we want to expand, especially in Europe, for the time being, because we don't have a lot of companies in Europe offering good stuff for the children with disability.
That's great. And just so you know, from my personal experience, when I've only really seen one other company that's been adaptive clothing exclusively, and usually adaptive clothing from what I've seen in the market meant no tags. The seaming was a little bit more comfortable. I've never seen, a stitching for the pants to easy open like what I saw in what you just demonstrated, or the port stitching. And so I think this, maybe you are innovating this, but do you see any other innovations happening inside of the adaptive clothing market? I think you said the adults, and I think that's great as well.
I'm sorry, Richard, I didn't understand.
No problem. So what do you see with the future of adaptive clothing? How do you see this panning out into the future?
Well, I believe we get more and more inclusive in our minds. And I honestly hope that the industry will incorporate dignity more often. We have a lot of solutions that are not worthy in any way. So yeah, it's important for me that I can spoil my grandson. So he needs good stuff, and that is my ambition for the future, at least, to have a lot of worthy stuff to offer.
Well, you're an amazing grandma. And kind of going back to your personal journey, you didn't have experience with textiles. I don't think you planned on having a grandson with special needs.
No,
So what have you learned about yourself during this journey?
wow. The world was turned upside down at first. But today, when I think about it, it's been a very emotional journey and very meaningful. And that sounds like opposite, but it's been very, very meaningful. And that is also what is giving me the power to continue.
Again, I can definitely relate to that. And yep, I think many in the rare disease community, probably close to 100% will say we had no idea about this.
Mhm.
And, you either take that journey head on and accept it and enjoy it because you can make meaningful memories, like you said. It can be a very
Yes.
meaningful journey, but you do have to go through that first stage of acceptance. And
Yeah,
so another thing that I hope by doing this video is that we inspire other parents because it is a very difficult journey.
it
But when
is.
you do accept it and you do meet it head on, there's so much you can do, not only for your family, but for the community. So what advice
Exactly.
would you give to another parent that maybe would be starting into this entrepreneurship, trying to create a product for children or people in the rare disease community?
Yeah. I think as long as they try to join in spare time or full time, whatever, as long as it's coming from love to the community, it's perfect. Don't go for the profit. Don't ask too much of yourself because it's a very, very tough job. My grandson is very sick, and in time sometimes it's not even possible for me to ask his mother for new invention ideas because she's so loaded with stuff on the home front. So I think it's very important not to ask too much of yourself and be happy what you are actually able to support the community with.
Yeah, and again, I just relate with everything that you're saying is not asking too much with yourself. And I think just as a dad, sometimes at least early on, it was like, I'm going to do all this. I'm going to take all this on and I'm going to stay up late and do all these things. But then real quick, I realized that I don't have the energy to care for my family. And
Exactly, exactly. And you might have the energy today, and tomorrow you're all busted.
exactly that. And
Yeah.
you kind of alluded to this, but how do you balance it? How do you balance, being a grandmother, your personal life as well, and then running
Mhm.
this business you obviously care deeply for and you have a passion for. How do you balance
Mhm.
all of this?
It's easy for me to balance because I have a job and a normal life. But if I was the mother and I didn't get my sleep at night and I had to go to the hospital every second week, something like that, I wouldn't be able. So for me, it's not that hard. Of course, I'm emotional involved every time something is not so good, but that is part of my life, the rest of my life, and I accepted that already. So I can work without any problems.
Thank you for sharing that. And you're giving a little bit more details about your personal life and the challenges that I believe it's your daughter that has, and obviously
Exactly.
caring for your grandson. So again, I connect with all of that. But so you're selling this product to obviously people who need it inside of this community. But
Yeah.
how do you let people outside of the community kind of know that children like your grandson and my daughter exist? How are you creating awareness through this platform?
We've been so lucky to have a few documentary programs in local television. Um, and then we are trying to explain every time that we are together with other people what this special life, how it is to live a life like this. And a lot of people is asking, why are you doing this cloth? And I can explain more in details. And um, people are learning a lot just because we are saying things out loud. Because I don't know in your country, but in our country, we don't approach someone in a wheelchair saying, hi, how are you? What's wrong? What happened? We just mind our own business. So it's difficult to have that dialogue uh, between healthy and people with disabilities.
Yes, it's very true. And one of our mission is to kind of bridge that barrier or, the lack of connection between the two through the
Yeah,
schools.
yeah.
And so maybe if you have a message to give, people outside of the rare disease community, possibly to the schools, what message would you like to share to them about the work you're doing or about, children like your grandson?
I think in general, I would like people to understand that a child with special needs or a seriously ill child is as loved by their family as healthy children are by their families. And I think very often people don't understand that because they see the ill child as a burden. So that is very important for me to say that I have 4 grandchildren. I love my grandson Walter as much as the 3 others. So um, yeah, it's a bit emotional, but and I can add that we can change his conditions of life, but we can change the quality of his life, and that is what we are trying.
I think that's a beautiful message. And, as a parent, as a person trying to work with the rare disease community, I can tell you that just hearing your personal journey and seeing the products that you're making, it does inspire me and it does motivate me. So you can at least take that with you and know that, when we finish this call, I'm going to go out and do 10 more things just because I feel empowered by it. But I
Oh,
do,
you're sweet.
no, it's 100% true. And whenever I do meet another parent, or grandparent or caregiver, they are the most passionate And, when I just see that motivation, it does motivate me. And I'm sure other parents or people in the community that see this video will be motivated as well. And thank you so much for sharing your story and what you're
Thank you
doing.
so much for letting me.
Oh, it's great. And
It's
so
been a
what I'll
great
do is
conversation.
I definitely want to open this up, but like I said, I think that the next time we offer an event, it would be great to see you there. If not, to make sure that all of your clothing line is available and so that parents know about it.
Okay, that sounds great. Hopefully, I will join in.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.